All right, y'all, we're going to be multiplying some complex numbers today. I got 3 problems right here, so stick around, watch them all. Feel free to subscribe as well. All right, when I multiply binomials, like you'll see here, the 2 minus 4i and 3 plus 5i, I like to start with the area model. I know some people favor first, outer, inner, last, that old FOIL method, but I like visually seeing it. So I'm going to take that 2 minus 4i and put it right up at the top of the rectangle that you see as it's divided up into pieces, and then 3 plus 5i. Now, before we begin, I want to go ahead and just remind ourselves that I is equal to the square root of -1, and so I squared is equal to -1 because we would square that square root and that would cancel. We're going to need that information. So let's go ahead and start multiplying things out in order to use the area model. So 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times -4, which is -12 with an I. We have the 5 times 2, which is 10 with an I. And then we're going to get to that last one, which is going to need a little extra work. 5 times -4, which is -20. And then I times I, which is I squared. Now, just remember what we just said a second ago was that I squared is equal to -1. So this is really -20 times -1. -20 times -1 is just +20. So this is the value that we're going to work with out of this box, okay? So now we're going to combine our like terms just like we did when we were adding and subtracting. I'm going to take that 6 out. I'm going to add the -12i right here. I'm going to add -12i to 10i, which is -2i. Okay, and then I'm going to put that +20 at the end. So +20 right there. If you notice, that +20 can still add to that 6. So 20 plus 6 is 26. Minus the 2i that is still there. And that would be our final answer when we multiply those. Okay, do this a couple of times so maybe we get used to it and feel a little bit more comfortable with that I squared. Okay, so I'm going to come over to this one right over here. We're going to draw the area model one more time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fill out the sides with the binomials that you see. So 4 minus 5i and 2 minus 3i. And from here, we're going to start multiplying, finding all the interior pieces. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times -5 is -10i. -3 times 4 is -12i. And then we go to that last one. I'm going to change colors so we can see it. -3 times -5 is 15. I times I is I squared. And remember, I squared is the same thing as this -1 up here. So I'm going to write 15 times -1. 15 times -1 is just -15. So this is the number that is actually being represented in this box right there. Okay, and from here, we're just going to start collecting like terms. So I'm going to have the 8 plus the -15. So 8 minus 15. Well, what is 8 minus 15? That is -7. And then we have the other piece that's here, -12i plus -10i. -12i plus -10i. That's going to bring us to -22i. So we have -7 minus 22i is our final expression when we multiply those complex numbers. Now when we go to this last one down here, we just simply have to remember that we have a squared. So look at that, 2 minus 4i squared. Well, what does that just simply mean? That means that there's 2 of them. 2 minus 4i. We're squaring it, so there's 2 of them that are multiplying. And we're going to go back to the exact same method that we've been using. We're going to go to the area model. Okay, like I said, if you like first, outer, inner, last, that's cool. But for this one, I really like the area model. So 2 minus 4i goes on the side. 2 minus 4i goes on this side. And from here, we just simply work just like we did in the previous sections. We're going to multiply. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times -4 is -8i. Okay. -4 times 2 is -8i. And then -4 times -4 is 16. I times I is I squared, but remember, I squared equals -1. So I'm going to replace the I squared. I'm going to say 16 times -1. 16 times -1 is just simply -16. So this is the number we are going to use for this box right here. And from here, we just start collecting the like terms. So I'm going to take those pieces out. So for the -16, the -8i, the -8i, okay? And then we're going to combine those like terms. So 4 minus 16 is -12, -8i, that is -16i. We're adding them, we're not multiplying, and that's why there's not a square there. So it's -8i plus -8i is -16i. And there we have it. There is our expression after we multiply that complex set of numbers there. So anyways, that is multiplying complex numbers. Hope that helps out. Feel free to go ahead and subscribe, y'all.